All right, let's jump right into this explainer and explore the really fascinating digital landscape of online learning. We often think of education as a pretty direct transaction. A teacher speaks, a student listens, or nowadays, a student searches for a topic and watches a lesson. But in our modern era of algorithm-driven platforms, the reality is far more complex and, frankly, a lot more interesting. Today, we're going to break down the ecosystem of digital education and uncover the invisible forces that are literally shaping what we learn. Think about it for a second. When you or I click a link to learn about, say, the USA, what is the algorithm actually teaching us? We're setting out to answer that exact question by analyzing the environment surrounding just one educational video. Because when you click on a piece of content, you aren't just getting that one lesson. You're instantly dropped into a highly curated digital environment. Every single recommendation on the side of your screen acts as a syllabus, dynamically compiled by a machine. And we're going to decode that machine-generated syllabus today. So to figure this out, we need a starting point, an anchor. And that brings us to 160,525. That's the modest, but honestly pretty solid view count of our anchor point. It's a German classroom video created by the educational publisher Westermann, titled 15 Facts About the USA. It's a standard, well-intentioned piece of academic material aimed at secondary school students learning English. So it really is the perfect control subject for our little algorithmic experiment. Now, right in the original German description, the publisher makes a clear promise. They're going to deliver 15 facts about the geography, history, and culture of the USA. By explicitly stating these goals, we get three distinct pillars to investigate. We know exactly what the student intended to learn. Now, we just have to look at what the algorithm decided to teach them next. Section 1. Categorizing the curriculum. The algorithm syllabus. So if we take all those recommended videos in the sidebar and map them into those three original pillars, well, we see the algorithm doesn't just hand out more standard classroom lectures. Not at all. It branches out wildly, pulling in content from all over the platform that loosely fits these pillars but carries entirely different motives. Let's break down exactly what the machine thinks makes a good lesson in each of these three subjects. Section 2. Mapping American geography. From maps to tourist traps. Starting with geography, you'll see things shift really fast, from standard education to highly subjective, engagement-driven stuff. The algorithm takes the concept of geography and immediately filters it through whatever drives the most clicks. You've got basic visual size comparison, sure, but then suddenly you're looking at extreme, opinion-driven state rankings like worst to best and tourist destination guides. A student looking for geographical facts is quickly swept right into a current of travel vlogs and entertainment lists. And just look at this massive scale disparity. It's wild, and it completely captures the battle for the student's attention. Our standard educational anchor sits at a respectable 160,000 views, right? But literally right next to it, the algorithm is dingling a travel video with 10 million views and an entertainment ranking with 7.6 million. It goes to show how pure entertainment and travel content absolutely dominate and outcompete traditional educational material in this space. Moving to Section 3. Uncovering American History, from Ellis Island to Strange Facts. Now, looking at the history pillar, the algorithm throws a totally fascinating mix at us. It's basically a tug-of-war between the textbook and the tabloid. Students are instantly offered a really wide spectrum. On one hand, you get grounded stuff like Ellis Island or grand, serious geopolitical narratives. But right alongside them, you've got videos promising the untold story or the entire history packed into a single sitting. Because the algorithm knows that mystery and massive scale are what grab our attention. And here is the crucial takeaway. You can clearly see how hidden or downright strange trivia absolutely crushes standard academic topics. A traditional lesson on Ellis Island draws about 52,000 views, but a video titled 101 Strange True Facts, that pulls in over 500,000. The system is structurally built to prioritize the novel and the weird over the standard curriculum. Section 4. Cultural Norms and Oddities, Defining the American Way. Finally, let's look at culture. Remember, our anchor video targets German English learners. So how does the algorithm curate American culture for outsiders? Well, it heavily relies on a very specific lens, the lens of surprising norms and bite-sized fun facts. It's not giving anyone a deep sociological dive. It's packaging characteristics that highlight the differences between the viewer's home country and the USA. It's essentially culture packaged as a mild culture shock. what's really interesting here is who is actually making this content. It turns out English language learning channels are the primary curators of these cultural characteristics. Channels pulling in hundreds of thousands of views are the ones defining American culture for the viewer. In this ecosystem, language instruction and cultural definition are deeply, inextricably intertwined by the recommendation engine. Section 5. The digital learning ecosystem, the hidden algorithm. Taking a step back, we have to realize the modern digital classroom is a noisy, bustling marketplace. And sometimes the algorithm just throws the entire educational premise right out the window. Mixed right in with history and geography, you might literally get 20 minutes of pure silence, which has nearly 400,000 views, by the way, or a 3-hour video of a pink and orange gradient with a staggering 2 million views. It proves that in this algorithmic classroom, total distraction is always just one single click away. This really brings us to a fundamental truth. Learning online isn't just the one video you decided to click, it's the entire landscape surrounding it. The meta environment, the sidebars, the autoplays, the constant flood of recommendations. That's just as impactful as the source material itself. Your ultimate co-teacher is a machine with a very, very different set of priorities than a human educator. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought to ponder. If a student's view of a country is so heavily curated by an algorithm, one that clearly favors travel rankings, sensationalized history, and weird cultural oddities over standard academics, how does that curation shape our global understanding of each other? It completely changes how we should view online education, doesn't it? It's not just a delivery system for facts, but an active, unpredictable participant in how we construct our worldview. Thanks so much for following along with this analysis, and remember, keep questioning the curriculum behind the screen.